Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well and hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, ding! You're getting used to me doing that now, aren't you? So, yeah, hit the subscribe for us. That would be marvellous. Tonight's video is a rant. And you know you come here for my Victor Meldrew rants. Well, you're in luck. A warranty claim. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try not to rant, but I'm going to tell you every stage of this complaint, right? And then how I dealt with each stage. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickly throat. So, I get a text message. And this text message, and by the way, I'll always advise you, always communicate via email, text message. Don't just speak to them. Words can get twisted. When it's on paper or, you know, phone, email, whatever, it's there. It's proof. Sometimes these end up in small claims courts and all sorts of stuff. So you want as much physical documentation as you can. So, phone call comes in first and I miss the call. Quickly followed by a text message. I'm going to read it to you. Word for word. Have you got a cup of tea? Hi, Will. We bought a Seat from you a few months ago. Seat being, it wasn't a Seat, it was a Suzuki. Well, there's the first problem. It's a Suzuki Swift they bought, and she wrote Seat. Anyway, I'm going to edit it for her. We bought a Suzuki Swift from you a few months ago. My daughter has only been driving it for 2 weeks, and in that space of time, the battery has needed replacing. There is a steering fault, and now it smells like burning. New driver alert. And the accelerator is making a whirring noise. To say we are unimpressed is an understatement. This bit really got me. Really got me. It touched a nerve because I have such a good moral compass, and I'll explain what I mean in a minute, and I'll carry on with the text message. I cannot believe you were unaware of these issues when selling it. We would appreciate if you could have a look at it and give us your thoughts, as currently my daughter has a car that she does not feel safe to drive, and she's only had it a matter of weeks. Again, she's had it a few months, but they say they've only been driving it a few weeks. Okay, whatever. Many thanks. So my first thought was, you're basically calling me a liar. You're basically saying that I knew about faults with the cars. There's 30,000 components in the average car. You can't know about everything. But let me tell you what I did to this car before selling it. So, Suzuki Swift, it was an 09 plate. You've not seen it in the video, so it wasn't that blue one. It's a different one. I never filmed it. But it was an 09 plate, so 16 years old. So what I did to it was I MOT'd it. Guess what? For the past 2 MOTs on that car, 0 advisories. Even the one that the MOT I put on it a week before she bought it, no advisories. That's the first thing I did to it. Second thing, it had a full service history, so I gave it another service. Again, probably about a week before she picked it up. Do you want to know the third thing I did? A full health check. And no, I did not use Halfords, Halfords. I did it properly. My mechanic did it. Full health check, full service, full MOT. Okay, and by the way, I drove that car for 200 miles as well. Am I confident that that car is a good car? Absolutely I am. Absolutely. The cheek of it, honestly. So at this point, at the end of that text message, the vein was coming out, yeah, and I was fuming. So my first thought was pick up the phone and give her a good old bollocking. I very quickly thought against that for the reasons I've just said at the beginning of the video. You need a paper trail. So I thought I'd do a little bit cleverer than that. Oh, and the other thing I do that's quite clever, I'm sure you dealers do, you might not, and if you don't, I suggest you do. When I write out the receipt, and everything comes through, there's the full health check, there's the green advisory-free MOT. Don't always, obviously, if I can do an advisory MOT, I'll do it. If I put it through its MOT and it's got a few advisories and they're just little stuff, I won't redo it. I won't sell it advisory free, but I will be really clear on what's on there, okay? So on this little receipt, it's also got a comments box. Yeah, they signed this, by the way. In that comment box, I'll write any relevant information that I think about the customer. In this case, new driver. Just passed her test, first car, blah, 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 blah. Let them have a read of all the information, and then they sign it to say that's an accurate reflection of the car, the receipt, the conversation, etc. So, when it comes to a burning smell, you know it's a clutch. You know it's a brand new driver, and you know they're riding the clutch. That's the smell, right? But I've got that on the receipt. I've got on the receipt, brand new driver, etc. So, in fact, when the daughter, they both took it out for a spin separately, but when the daughter went, we were kangarooing down the bloody road. That's how, like, literally, you know, that funny juice that you can put in. That's what it was. Yeah, so I'm not slating her. Well, I suppose I am slating her driving. I don't mean to, because she's a brand new driver. It's just, you know, she's probably nervous, etc. But if she's driving that car like that, every day, every minute, whatever, of course it's going to bloody go wrong. So, I digress. I'll read you my reply. Hi, said name. I sold you the first bit of this text message is just clarity. Because if this does go anywhere, the first, 3 sentences makes it pretty clear. All right, so you're ready. Hi, said name. I sold you a 2009, in brackets, 16-year-old car with over 82,000 miles on the clock for $16,950. Full stop. For anyone else reading that, 16-year-old car is the first bit. You're like, whoa, it's an old car, right? It's probably not going to be perfect. But I was so confident with this car. I'll carry on. The car had just passed its MOT a week before you bought it with flying colours. In fact, the last 2 MOTs have had no advisories on this vehicle. Also, it has a full service history and has had a recent service, again, a week before you picked up the car. Also, on top of this, it's had a full health check by my mechanic. Not health frauds. Important. I didn't put that in there. This clearly identifies a very clean and safe car. I had absolutely no issues with this car while I had it, or I wouldn't have sold it to you. Both you and your daughter test drove this car on separate occasions, also with no issues. I will have a look at this car for you if you would like, reminding you I'm not a mechanic, but I do know cars. If that's the option you'd like, that's absolutely fine. We can organise a time. Alternatively, if your daughter feels unsafe, I suggest you take it to a garage. As I know, your daughter is a brand new driver. Put that in there as well, just to re-emphasise the fact that she's riding the clutch. As I know your daughter's a brand new driver, this might be the best thing to do. Regards, Will. So, she messaged me. What time was it when she messaged me? 11:30. In the morning. I responded after drafting a message a few times. Yeah, because that first draft was not like that. It was rampage. I messaged back at 11:38. 8 minutes. So, when do you think she texts me back again? Because this is such a critical, important problem she's got. Couple of minutes? Couple of hours? Halfway through the next day. So, She messaged me back. Thank you for texting me back. Because some people might not have bothered with that type of message. I think we'll take the option to take it to a garage. No problem. We had a little bit of a text exchange. I didn't actually tell her to do anything. So I offered to look at it myself. I also offered her, if it was me and it was my daughter's, I would take it to a garage, right? I never said I would pay for anything. Okay? It's an important point. I have to, as the dealer, instruct or, she takes it to a garage. If she gets any work done, that's up to her, right? But I have to authorise that work first. So she would have to get a quote. I would have to authorise that quote for the work to be done, for me to pay for it. She didn't do any of that. Didn't even come back to me. So that was it. But it was really odd. So, no, I don't want any help with that. Thank you, watch. So I don't really understand what happened. So my text message must have been that clear. I would have helped her if she needed help, obviously. I just don't think half of them issues even existed. The only one I believe that was a real problem was the smell of burning, because she wouldn't have known what that was. It was clearly, I'm saying it was clearly. I never even had an opportunity to look at the bloody thing, because they never brought it back to me. Which is fine, by the way. They've obviously taken it to a garage, yeah, and they've given it a clean bill of health. And why do I know that? Do I know the garage they took it to? No. I drove past them 2 days after that, and the daughter was loving life. Well, she looked like she was loving life. And the car was moving at a nice speed. So she can't feel that unsafe. The car can't be that bad. So that's it, really. It's a really odd one. And that does happen occasionally. I mean, in terms of warranties, I don't really get warranties. Why don't I get warranties? I believe because I prep the cars properly. That doesn't mean there's never been any problems, by the way. I've received a couple of calls on cars I've sold. We've talked it through, and sometimes the customer talked themselves into just going to sort the problem themselves. Happy days. I'll help anyone. And on that Suzuki, she said the battery's gone. Never told me about that. I've got a battery down there. I would have swapped that over for no problem. But she never told me. So this is the other thing with customers. They'll have a problem, and I love this, by the way. They'll just go sort it. But as soon as they've sorted it, they can't come back to you for anything because you've not had opportunity to look at it. So once they've started sorting the problem, it don't become my problem anymore. But just to make it clear, I was really mad with that text message. Not because that she's brought issues to me, because she was talking about my character. Yeah, she was basically saying that I knew the car had faults. Yeah, let's just replay all them things that I did. MOT, yeah, it's a basic safety check. Full service should just make sure that the car, is operationally good. And also that full health check. And my mechanic does a full health check, not like the Halfords one that we've talked about before. He tests brakes, he looks at all the tyre, he goes through everything. And then guess what? That report goes with the car. And I keep a record of that. So if that ever goes anywhere, the customer's signed saying they're happy with the health check. They've had a health check. They've had the full service. They've had the MOT. Everything at that point. Well, I'm in pretty good stead to prove there was no faults when I sold that car, right? And I'd done 200 miles in it myself, which was also documented on the receipt. So if nothing else, and you're sat there thinking, I don't do any of this stuff when I sell cars. I'm not saying I'm the expert, by the way. I'm just good at protecting myself, I think, yeah? I haven't been to court yet. Fingers crossed I won't. Who knows, all right? But when I do, if I do, I've got all the documentation for every car. And that's a really key, important point. But anyway, going back to the text message and the warranty claim, it just disappeared. Whether I handled it well, whether she reread my text message and thought, actually, it's a 16-year-old car. She is a first-time driver. She probably is riding the clutch. What other problems? And in one of the text messages after, she said, some of the problems have gone away once we've changed the battery. but she didn't clarify which problems. And then she mentioned a different problem she hadn't even complained about. 1695. What do you expect? A brand new car. Some of these people do, by the way. Some of these people do. So it's really crucial that you put them right. And that's why I keep all that documentation, all them signatures, all the proof of what I've actually done. I suppose it's an arse covering tool, innit? More than anything else. But I still, with all that, I would not have let that car go out if I wasn't really happy with it. Would I normally do a full health check on every car? No, I don't. The reason why I did it on that one was because my mechanic was round doing a service anyway, and he said, do you want me to do a free health check for you while I'm here? Yeah. Anything that starts with free, Andy, I'll have it. Free health check, yeah, get it done. But actually, I'm really lucky that I did do that on that one, because it does give me that, evidence, I suppose, that car was good. It was a good car. Still is a good car. Like I said, I've seen it. I've drove past her. I've seen loads of my cars recently. I don't know if they're like stalking me or something. It's really odd. Saw the Focus the other day as well. It's very random. I got really excited whenever I see one of my cars. I must be like Rain Man, because I kind of, when I see them, I know the plates. It's very strange. Maybe it's because I don't sell that many over the year that maybe they register in my brain or something. I don't know. But yeah, I was dead excited about seeing that Focus. So that is tonight's video. Hopefully you enjoyed that little rant. But hopefully it's been a little bit educational as well in terms of how I protect myself. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the last video, because me and Danny Boy went to Mannheim. I think that was quite a good video, actually, if I don't say so myself. But the views are pretty rubbish. Something like 700 views. The time before we did an auction view, that got to like 8,500 views. And this latest one is miles better video than that one. We're a little bit more polished now. The banter's the same. The banter's still but we're a bit more polished. It's a little bit more professional. We had our microphones on, so you can actually hear us rather than the wind noise. So yeah, check that video out. We enjoyed doing that one. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have. If you haven't, please consider it if you're enjoying the content. There's over 70% of viewers not subscribed. I think it's even more, actually. So if you're watching it, ting, hit that button, please. It really does help the channel. And also, it keeps me motivated to make more of these videos. So on that note, thank you very much for... I'll start again. So on that note, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.